But as they prayed, I wasn't just kicking back eating Doritos. Out of respect. That's not taught. Because there's no reason to respect an oppressor. In one Massachusetts school, let's go this direction. Parents had to sign a permission form for kids to say the pledge. One school stopped saying it altogether, and when one student tried to get it going again, he was initially told, well, you're not going to find any teachers who will want to do that. Some teachers are openly plotting for ways to work Marxism into the classroom. Here it is.
How do you actually, as a teacher in a classroom, kind of promote ideas of Marxism? I think radicals and socialists have a particular role to play in kind of fighting for that type of education. It's organizing the teachers, it's organizing parents, and working together to actually fight for an entirely different kind of educational system.
Oh, yeah. No, it's entirely a different kind of educational, yeah, it is. They're also being taught the evils of capitalism in the form of cartoon fun. We've showed you this from the Tides Foundation. This is great stuff here. It's their job, the government, to take care of you. By the way, the same people who put this video out have a new one out called The Story of Citizens United. Listen to this BS.
Today's corporations have evolved to have something very dangerous in their programming. Unlike people who are driven by all kinds of motivations, doing the right thing, love for family, their country, the planet, publicly traded corporations are now required by law in the markets to pursue one single motivation above all others. Maximize value for shareholders. Make as much money as possible.
Okay.
That's it. Yes, it is people who run
these evil free market corporations are polluting and destroying the earth. They're jamming this down our kids' throats. And you know what? Sometimes that's true. General Electric. But nobody seems to mention the corporations that have helped the world. Like Microsoft. Tell me how Microsoft didn't change the world. How about Apple? Are they doing anything? Hey, how about that giant corporation of Facebook? Is that good? Or is it select companies? Which ones are they? Look at this website, EnergyStarKids.gov. Be a star. Stop the evil corporations before they destroy the earth. They're getting this message pounded home every day. America is bad as it was founded. We got to change it. Drop the borders. And they're getting it from people like the Marxist revolutionary teacher in Southern California who's been calling for revolution, to the countless socialist groups infiltrating and organizing student walkouts and protests. And it's not just limited to capitalism. Our morals and principles are under attack as well. The state of Massachusetts used a website for sex education called Maria Talks, which promotes abortion as like it's totally easier than it sounds, end quote. Here's how the site responds to a question about whether a girl can get an abortion if she's under 18. Quote, okay, I totally know that this information can sound pretty intimidating and overwhelming, but I promise you the reality of getting an abortion is much easier than it sounds here. It continues, I know it sounds crazy, but just keep reading. This can really be done, and young women do it all the time here in Massachusetts. The site goes on to glow about how safe and easy it is to get an abortion, while at the same time expressing concerns about the mental side effects of giving a child away for an adoption. My son was given to us by a superhero, a teenage girl that got into trouble. A superhero. Don't talk to me about the side effects. Oh yeah, it's much better to kill your baby. And if you happen to be in the market for an abortion, all the contact information for Planned Parenthood is reading right there for your children. In Utah, Planned Parenthood supports a puberty education maturation program for the kids aged 8 to 12. Their site provides links for educators that cover everything from how do you even have sex to what is a condom. And while they do mention that it's not a horrible idea to talk to your parents, they stress that you need to talk to an adult who has information, which is an amazing coincidence and an interesting qualifier, because another message our kids are getting is parents don't know what they're talking about. I do. Watch Al Gore telling kids for like the 40th time to not listen to their parents.
Young people ask their parents in that era, explain to me again why it's okay to have legal discrimination on the basis of skin color. And when they could not answer that moral question coming straight from the conscience of young people, that's when the laws began to change.
He has said this many times, don't listen to your kids on global warming. Van Jones has said it, and we just showed you last night. A union that is saying, hey, we've got to get the kids, Parents now in New York are being ignored despite their outrage over the fact that convicted felons are teaching their children. Mayor Bloomberg has thrown his hands in the air and says there's nothing I can do about it. Quote, there are very strict rules in the existing contract that prohibit the city from deciding in this case whether these people should be in the classroom. They are convicted felons, but it's in the contract. Well, I say to hell with the damn contract. If the government can say to hell with the contract with GM, then why can't we do it when it comes to our kids in the classroom? America, if you can't get convicted felons out of the classroom, if you have Marxist revolutionaries writing textbooks, if you have citizens being groped by the TSA, when is enough enough? When? And if you say, oh, I don't know, about 15 minutes ago, then we're going to show you some people who feel the same way and are actually standing up. Back in a minute. I want to turn to some guests that we've invited here in the studio. This show actually evolved from a phone call that came in on my radio program. I think it was on Monday. The video of the kids, the middle school kids that were singing about, you know, hey, stand up and protest, you know, these corporations. That was taken, the video was taken by a fan of the show and a listener of mine. We flew her in, but because of the bad weather here in New York, they just landed, so they're not going to be able to be on the program tonight. But I asked at the time for people to come that have had enough and have found things in their own life and are looking for ways to connect or are looking to connect with others. We have to start doing that, and I want you to go to my website at glennbeck.com and sign up for my email newsletter. There's coming information on some things that I'm working on that I want you to be able to read and understand. I need to be able to reach out to you at glennbeck.com. Please sign up now. Now, Cindy Rose is a mother from Maryland who was outraged what was written in her 9-year-old daughter's textbook. Glenn Rickabaugh is a dad from Pennsylvania who says one of his daughter's teachers is a Marxist. His daughter is here with him, trying to get the school board now to stop the alleged indoctrination. Nick Pandelias is a doctor who founded York Suburban Citizens for Responsible Government in Pennsylvania. He and others have been taking a stand against proposed tax hikes to fund benefits and raises for teachers. I don't know why he hates teachers so much. And Lisa Becker is here. She works at Dayspring Christian Academy in Pennsylvania. This is a school that teaches children about principles and values and not politics. Cindy, let me start with you. This is Social Studies Alive, Our Community and Beyond. Your daughter was sick, and she needed to do some homework.
Right. They brought it. She came home as makeup work.
And what did you do?
I started reading it, and the more I read it, the angrier I got. The chapters are about indoctrination, minimalizing anything that has to do with America. Talks about protesting, global activism. It's all about getting your child comfortable.
I just wanted you to see this. Child care is important, but it's not free for people in the United States, or most. Families have to pay for child care. It can be very expensive. Some people have to pay as much for child care as they earn in their jobs when they don't have enough money to pay for other things such as food and health care. In some countries, like child care is a public service. For example, Denmark and Vietnam. Child care is free or costs very little. Well, let's all move to Vietnam, everybody. It makes it easier for parents to work. Then the question is, do you think age of this for the 9-year-olds, do you think child care should be a public service in your community? Well, of course.
Obviously.
Then you have the global community here, where we just can't really be Americans anymore. It's global. I like this one. This is voting. Yeah. And what is this telling the kids to do?
This is that they should go out and they should demonstrate. Isn't that the one on demonstration? They should go out and they should demonstrate, and you should have a voice in your community. Oh, and they're just kids.
It's fantastic, all the things that we can learn. So what have you, and healthcare here, by the way, healthcare is really a right, especially in places as glorious as Vietnam. What have you done now?
I've gone through the steps of trying to have that book removed. I've gone to the curriculum specialist who's in charge of doing this book. I was told it will not be removed from the classroom. It will stay another year until the book comes up for its technical review. And next year is the time that it will be reviewed. I have
to tell you, this lady who's now at the airport, I said to her, I said, you've got to pull your kids out of school. I home teach my children. And I said, you've got to pull your kids out of school. And she said something really, really great. She said, no, because then they'll just do it to all the other kids.
That's right.
And I had never looked at it that way, but she's right. But the reason, the genesis of this show is to get people to stand together. Cindy, do you have other parents with you in the school?
I do have other parents. I have school board members. We have a brand new school board. They are addressing these issues. They're, you know, I'm going through the process of having this gotten rid of, and the new school board is helping me to get rid of this book.
How many people had no idea 2 years ago how far down the river we have sold our children? It's amazing. It's amazing how far down. Glenn, how did you find out about your daughter's problem?
Well, my daughter, she came home and told me that, first off, the movies are being shown in her school, not only Al Gore's movie, Inconvenient Truth, and not only the George Soros Story of Stuff, but she told me about a health teacher that she had in a health class. He was putting the movie Sicko on as a gold line-based standard to show how socialized medicine is so much better than privatized medicine, but America just hasn't caught on yet. And additionally making comments like, the Constitution is 400 years old. Why would we follow a Constitution 400 years old that was drawn up by a bunch of rich old white guys?
Did he, did he actually say 400 years old?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, he's smart.
But who cares?
I'm very smart, 400 years old.
But really, I mean,
wow.
Who cares about facts, you know, when they're trying to push an agenda, and that's all he's trying to do.
So what have you done in the classroom?
Well, he would say, you know, I would like say, wait, that's not right. And he was like, well, you know, bring me facts, show me, you know, give me proof. You know, so I would do, you know, bring stuff in to support my answer, and the next day, and he wouldn't show the class. And when I tried to speak up in the class, because I was the only one in the class that had that view opposing him, he just like, he would mock me, he would just like kids.
Glenn, so where is that ending?
Well, I don't know where it's ending, but it's just begun, because for a year and a half I've been trying to have these issues addressed. The principal and the superintendent have been totally disregarding the issue. This guy, he's even gone so far as to put Judeo-Christian scripture up on the wall, bring a t-shirt in saying Jesus was a liberal, and saying, why would we follow this book as a society? The people in the community are just starting to be made aware of it, and literally when I finally had the issues addressed because of the community, the school board, at the last school board meeting, got up and left the room when the people in the community said,
What's the name of the community?
Let this guy be hard. Quakertown, Pennsylvania. Quakertown High School.
Quakertown?
Yeah, yeah.
That's unbelievable.
That's just the tip of it, believe me.
All right, so listen. There are, on the banner, Tiffany put one of the banners up which says where you can get involved. On the banner there are people that contact, you know, what's a dad to do at gmail.com. You'll see these things. If you want to get involved, the point of this is the best organized, as you're seeing in Egypt, the best organized wins. Well, they are years and billions of dollars ahead. So what are you going to do? With love and courage, stand up and start finding those people next to you that will stand up and take on the system at the local level. Back in just a second.